All right, welcome back to Now or Never, Cavino and Rich, and from Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Ooh.
It's a pleasure. It's Jason Mewes,
There he
everybody.
is. Yes.
What's going on, man?
Snoochie boochies, as they say.
I almost didn't want the show to start because we've been here catching up. We're all from Jersey.
I know.
We've been talking about this and that and father and this. So we're going to just end the show now, everybody, and keep talking.
We're talking about dad life. We all have daughters and how being a dad to a daughter is awesome.
True. It's so true. I mean, I love it. Again, I think the fear for me, there was two things. I feel like before I had a daughter, I was thinking, wow, I want to be able to buy Star Wars toys and Transformers and Legos, and a boy will be able to enjoy that. A girl's not. But my kid loves Legos, and she gets DCU superhero girls dolls and stuff like that. So that hasn't been a big deal really, which is I thought it would be. Which either way, when I think about it, there's so much other stuff involved. It doesn't matter.
What a coincidence! She likes all the stuff that you like.
Exactly. She does.
Wow, crazy.
But I thought because she was a girl, she wanted, but she does. But also, I always think, I was always thinking of the future, and I still am now, but I know she's 4.5, and the 4.5 years have seemed like, so I know I don't have to worry about boys. That was my main concern. I don't want a girl and have to worry about her bringing that guy home the first time and be like, hey, here's my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah.
You got a decade.
I know I have some time.
I got less time.
It's such a weird thing to think about, beforehand. I'm like, I don't want a daughter because, and then it's like, but now I'm so glad because it
changes you for the better, absolutely. And both you and I were convinced we were going to have sons.
Yes.
Right, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, and yours is close, you're saying.
Yeah,
we never said ages.
His 10.
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, man, we're excited about this movie, man.
Yes.
What made you decide we're going to do another? Because the trailer, first of all, is dope. The cameos in this trailer, tell us about what made you bring back the character.
I wish it was all on me, but I've been wanting to do another Jay and Bob movie for years. As soon as I got a little time sober again and I was feeling good and things were going well, I really wanted to do another Jay and Bob. But Kevin was like, I don't want to just throw Jay and Bob out. I think it'd be nice to warm people up. It's been so long. Let's warm them up with Clerks and a little bit of Jay and Bob and or Mallrats. And we tried to do Clerks, and it was moving forward, and then Jeff Anderson was schedule was busy or something, and then things got Kevin was all amped up to move on, so we pivoted to Mallrats, and then Kevin wrote this really dope Mallrats 2 Mallbrats Die Hard in the Mall script, but Universal owns the rights to Mallrats, and they were like, no, we don't want to make it, and even if you have the money and you have the resources, we've never let someone take back their script. So then Kevin finally was like, you know what, I'm going to do Jay and Bob. But he also says, excuse me, speaking of the daughter, he says what sort of sparked it was when those things didn't happen, he was amped about doing A View Askew-universe, is what all the movies, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, there's A View Askew-universe movie. But he said it sparked the idea of hey, I want to do a Jay and Silent Bob reboot, but I don't want to just do a reboot of all the same jokes. He's like, but I've been watching Jay for the past 3 years with his daughter, and that's why in the movie Jay finds out he has a daughter and he has to adjust to growing up and being in that. And that's because, so that sparked from real life, from him seeing me be a father and all that.
That's interesting because we're actually going to see the scene
where you find out you have a daughter.
Yeah.
But it's sort of similar to life, and you've been playing this character since '94. So, how similar are you to the actual character Jay?
Well, when I was younger, I was exactly Jay.
That was you.
Yeah, Kevin. Kevin, of course, from his perspective, tells it best. But it's, him and I were hanging out around. I was 13, he was 17, and he wrote it when. But we've been friends about 4 years, and he always said, hey, I think you're funny, your weird sense of humor. Me, Brian Johnson, Walt Flanagan, who are from Comic Book Men, if you've seen Comic Book Men.
Yeah.
Those three thought I was funny, and other people in our neighborhood, and they said, I wonder if it's only Jersey people who find it funny, or would someone in Portland find you funny, or would someone in New York or LA? And so he's like, someone should put you in a movie. And when he had the idea for Clerks, he's like, I'm writing a character based on you, and I want to see if other people find you funny.
And he did.
That's where Jay. So all that stuff that's in Clerks, the first Clerks, is stuff that I had said, done. Like, I used to smoke a lot. I used to dance in front of I used to hang out at Welsh Farms on Bay Avenue in my town. And like me and my buddies that were my age, we went through phases. We went through the breakdancing phase, and then we went through the Misfits and Minor Threat hardcore phase. But yes, we used to hang out in front of the store and dance. And then also, like, I used to say snooch and nooch, and I used to talk and do all that stuff. And so most of the stuff is 100% Jay and Clerks. Mallrats, 99%, and then Chasing Amy. So as it went on, he sort of adapted the character to me growing up, being a little more responsible. I'd had a filter as I got older, because at 19, 20, 25, I knew I couldn't get away with being like, yo, baby, have you ever had your butt? I don't know what I could say on here.
A little bit, right?
Which one is near and dear to you? For me, Mallrats.
Mallrats will be my favorite always, because Clerks is our first movie, but really Mallrats to me is our first movie. They flew me out to LA. I'd never left. I'd been in New York like twice on a train at that point. I'd been to Florida once with my friend and his grandparents, but I'd never left Jersey really. And all of a sudden I'm in California. They flew me out. First class. They picked me up in a limo. I'm staying in a suite in Universal Studios. So that even just them flying me out for casting, the story could go on forever, but they wanted to cast me because I'd never. They wanted to audition me, because I never had training, I never done any movies, and they're like, hey,
we're raw.
They're like, this is a studio movie. The producers of Mallrats was like, he's never done anything, and we should put a star in there, someone who's a professional, like I've been in movies before. And so they're like, he has to audition for his own part. And even though Kevin and Mosier, the producer, was like, dude, the part's written about him, it can't be someone else. So I still had to audition, but they flew me out and did all that stuff, and it was so surreal landing in LA and like seeing palm trees. And
that's the Hollywood treatment. You got the Hollywood treatment. So I got to ask you, because I heard in other interviews and read somewhere that you felt like you never made it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But really quick. So the reason why I know I was going on a long story to tell you, Mallrats is my favorite because when I got to do the movie and we shot Mallrats, we were in Minnesota, and it was so surreal to me because I'm staying in a hotel. You got per diem, which is like, hey, here's some cash money to spend while you eat and stuff. And there were stunt teams and wardrobe, and I got to meet Stan Lee. So Mallrats was the first movie to me that was real movie. And it was such a surreal experience. I'll never forget everything about it. So that's my favorite, and it's a great movie in general.
And a great experience. Yeah. So what I was saying, it seems to me you were living the life, but I read somewhere that you felt like you really never made it. So we put together a top 5 sort of Jason Mewes thing to prove that you actually
made
it.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
And by the way, a schooner is a sailboat, right?
Yes.
Let's go. Schooner is a sailboat. My favorite line in that movie.
Nice.
You want to start with? You have a video game.
Yes,
My favorite, the Mall Brawl.
Mall Brawl, yes. Sorry, Mall Brawl is awesome. So there was also going to be, they're still working on Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch, this is more of an 8-bit style Mall Brawl, and it's a super fun, super awesome, but the other one's going to be a little bit more, a little more
But that's
detailed
huge,
stuff.
and huge for you too, because I know you're a big gamer and everything.
Well, we wanted our own video game because we got a little jealous, and I think this is the best we could come up with. Did you see the game we made, Covino?
Yeah. It's not exactly sweeping the nation, and not as cool as yours.
Take a look.
Nice.
Pong with our heads.
I
the
like
best
it.
we could do.
Yeah, man, that's good.
That's really low budget. And look how big my head is.
And you have a little more facial hair there.
Yeah.
By the way,
I like it.
another example of how you made it. You got to fight Mark Hamill. That's pretty sweet too.
And Silent Bob Strike
With
Back.
a lightsaber.
Yeah, no, it was very sweet. I mean, meeting him and getting to work with him and get to sword fight with him or lightsaber fight, of all things.
Wait, you had a sword fight too?
Yeah, well, to me it was, nice.
There it is. All right.
Let me tell you a little story about this real quick.
Yeah.
See that flip?
Yeah.
I wanted to do that myself. I was like, man, I have to do my own stunt. It'll be so much fun. I could totally do that. And it'll be so much better that when I'm flipping for me to see my face and stuff. So I went, if you notice I'm a little heavier there, I stopped using drugs. Like I've been sober a little while.
Yeah.
But I still was drinking because in my head I was like, I can drink as long as I don't use hardcore drugs. So that's why you notice I'm a little heavier. I'm like 195 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Or so. I'm a little bloated from water weight. But anyway, so I went, I was hungover. The stunt team's like, we'll let you do it if you could do the flip. I go meet with them in the morning. They put the harness on me, the wires to do the flip. I tried literally 20 to 30 times, and I just could not flip all the way around and make it. So finally, I was like, I just couldn't do it. So it looks easier than it is.
Well, it looked very real in the movie.
Well,
I thought
because
it
the
was
stunt
you.
guy
Right.
did it, yeah, and he knows how to keep his head down and then look up, and I'm in place. But the sword fighting was me, but it was the flipping. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, well, this is the third thing to prove that you made it. Like, little kids pretend to be you.
That's got to be a great feeling.
Awesome.
I love it. I love it. Going to Comic Cons and getting to meet everybody. I mean, it's been. I've been doing it. There's one year I did like once a month. I was going to cons in different cities, and I've seen like, you know, attractive 25-year-old girls dressed as Jam Bob. I've seen attractive 25-year-old boys dressed as Jam Bob. It's, you know, 50, 60-year-old men dressed as Jam Bob. Kids dressed as. So it's so cool to see the difference. So,
And by the way, you're a Nike spokesman back in the day?
this was awesome, man, for me to get to do a commercial in general. But then Nike, they gave me some free Nikes. It was very cool.
You should have worked the deal where you got free Nikes for life. That would have been.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. And I wish it had been seen more. You know, it didn't go as big and wide as I thought. This is where I thought I was gonna. I was like, after this, they're gonna want me to do commercials for everything.
You, Michael Jordan, LeBron James.
Exactly.
Same guy.
Exactly. I thought I was gonna have my own sneaker with my face on it.
Hey,
You know.
let me ask you one last thing. Jay and Silent Bob, the reboot. We're all going to see this movie. It looks fantastic. Who of the cameos did you have the most fun meeting?
Oh, it's endless.
I mean, the endless cameos. Who do you get a kick out of?
I mean, I get it. It was awesome to see everybody. There's a ton of people that I've got to see that I've worked with for many years that I hadn't seen forever. That was what was cool for years too. And not that it still isn't cool, but for years it was almost a consistent. Like every 2 years, Kevin would make. You know, Mallrats, then Chasing Amy, then Dogma, then Jay and Silent Bob Straight Backs, Clerks 2. And each time, like, you know, a lot of the same people come back, whether it be transportation, script supervisor, Jason Lee, Ethan Spiley, like, all these people will come back. So, and you spend a month or so with them, and then you don't see them for 2 years. Then you spend a month with them, and you don't see them. It was like camp every time. So it was cool because this time it was a lot longer, and it was cool to see Jason Lee. I hadn't seen him and catch up, and he's got kids now, and I have a kid.
Yeah,
we
you all
got to
grow
catch
up.
up with
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson. But really excited that Melissa Benoist, Supergirl's in the movie. And I was Ben, I hadn't seen Ben in years, and Ben came, and it was so nice to see him.
Ben Affleck, everybody.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. So not only was he great in the scene, and Kevin got to write this amazing 8-page like monologue for him. He came in, and I thought I was like, man, you just gave that to him. There's no way he's gonna memorize all this. Especially because I just thought he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna come in for a day, do this, and he knew it all, and it was great. And my kid was in that scene, and so it was really cool to see Ben. But I was. And again, I can keep going about.
Yeah, you don't want to give it all away, man.
And Dietrich and all these people that I was excited to see, but I was super blown away when he told me that Chris Hemsworth would be in it. I was like, what?
Hemsworth,
Thor?
Manganiello, yeah, a lot of studs. And your man
studs.
junk almost makes a cameo in this movie,
yes.
but we don't want to give it all away, but we do want to congratulate you, man,
Thank you.
because you've had an amazing career. We're really excited about Jay and Silent Bob, the reboot. Look out for it. Jason Mewes on Now or Never.